Well, teachers associations across the country are starting to offer guidance for those who may have health concerns and are needed back in the classroom for in-person learning.
As medical reporter Liz Bonis explains, many are concerned about protection and support for those at higher risk for severe illness and wondering how COVID-19 falls under the American With Disabilities Act.
The Americans with Disabilities Act is a federal statute that prohibits discrimination based on a qualified disability.
Nobody has really questioned that part of the ADA statute in COVID-19 and getting back to work. But Faith Whitaker, a partner and the Employment Practices Group chair at the Dinsmore Legal Practice, says it's the second part of it that is bringing a lot of questions into her firm, especially as teachers go back to school.
It also provides an affirmative obligation for employers to accommodate individuals with a qualified disability as well.
Since already we know that older adults and those with certain health conditions that compromise immunity are more at risk for serious complications from this virus.
As far as claims and going back to work and not returning, those are where we're seeing a lot of influx already related to COVID.
Whitaker says if children coming to the classroom or simply working in a place with a lot of people puts you at risk for COVID, you may be able to ask for reasonable accommodations from an employer. If you don't feel it's safe to return to work, however, Whitaker points out.
It's one thing to make the allegation, though, but it's another thing to have actual liability.
Especially because, as Senator Mitch McConnell explained this week, in the next coronavirus relief package.
Let me tell you what will be in it for sure. Liability protection. Liability protection for everyone. This is not just for businesses. This is for hospitals, doctors, nurses, businesses, universities, colleges, K through 12 education, local government, everybody who had to deal with the coronavirus, unless you were grossly negligent or engaged in intentional misconduct, we're not going to subject you to an epidemic of lawsuits on the heels of the healthcare pandemic that we're already having to deal with.
So we heard him mention, that they would protect, it sounds like everybody but the worker. Can they do that?
There are already claims that workers can bring and are bringing with respect to leave of absence issues, discrimination issues, and also safety issues.
Those kinds of issues came up this week from the Orange County Teachers Union in Orlando, Florida.
What teachers are worried about is not just endangering their own lives, but the students' lives.
So when you look at history, is there sort of a precedent for any of this, even if you go as far back as something like a polio outbreak?
This is completely new. This is new for lawyers, it's new for courts, it's new for employers and employees alike.
I'm medical reporter Liz Bonis reporting.